Hello everyone, this is the God of 0,000, and I've got something to say. Among those true fans that I mentioned before, many consider what came after Season 3, referred to by some as the Frieza Saga, as some of Toriyama's best work, myself included. Why do I put up with you? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, when we last left off, we were left with a cliffhanger. Kakarot was left alone on Namek with supposedly no means of escape. Well, that was the cliffhanger we fans had to deal with. For reasons I will explain in my next video, there was a pretty big amount of time in between the end of Season 3 and the beginning of Season 4. Almost, but it was well worth the wait. I mean Dragon Ball Z. Therefore, I've got something to say about the storyline of Dragon Ball Z Part 2. When Namek explodes, King Kai says there's no way Kakarot could possibly have survived. However, 1 year later, when they attempt to use the Dragon Balls to bring Kakarot back to life again, they find that the wish cannot be granted because Kakarot is still alive. Time passes and Kakarot remains in outer space. In the anime, there's a few filler episodes about a return of a non-canon movie villain. Why they added a non-canon movie villain, I don't know. But Garlic Jr. aside, finally everyone learns that Kakarot is on his way home. However, Frieza survived too and is also on his way. This time he's even stronger than before. Now, I commend Toriyama for his foreshadowing. Frieza goes through a Darth Vader-y kind of phase and becomes more machine now than man. However, when he lands 2 hours ahead of Kakarot, this mysterious version of badass turns all of Frieza's soldiers into cold cuts. The stranger then transforms into a Super Saiyan and kills Frieza and King Cold. He's non-canon. Anyway, 2 hours later, when Kakarot lands on Earth, the youth asks to speak with him in private. This super awesome, amazingly cool character is Trunks, Bulma and Vegeta's son. He also reveals that he's from several years in the future. And in the future, two androids built by Dr. Gero, an enemy from Kakarot's past, have killed all of Earth's strongest fighters except for Kakarot, who died 3 years before the android attack from a heart virus. Trunks gives Kakarot the antidote for the virus and a warning. The Z Fighters, as they're called for about 3 episodes, train for 3 years for what's supposed to be their doomsday. Finally, on May 10th, on an island 9 miles southwest of South City at 10 o'clock in the morning, Trunks' prediction comes true. Kakarot is the first to fight the androids. Only, unlike in Trunks' prediction, the heart virus afflicts him during the fight. Vegeta steps in next, revealing that he is transformed into a Super Saiyan as well. Vegeta destroys the first android with ease, but when Trunks returns from the future, he reveals that they are not the same androids that he's been fighting. When Bulma reveals that the android that escaped is actually Dr. Gero, the race is on to stop Dr. Gero from activating the real androids. Of course, they fail. However, a third new android is released as well. Piccolo, who recognizes that they don't stand a chance against the androids, goes to Kami, wanting to merge together with him. Since Kami and Piccolo were once one being, a substantial amount of Piccolo's power resides within his alter ego. Kami agrees, but not because of the androids. A new and far more lethal threat appears. Piccolo, now at full power for the first time in his life, races off to meet the new foe, Cell. After escaping Piccolo, Cell goes on a rampage, absorbing all the life forms he comes across through his spiked tail to become stronger. When he's strong enough, he hunts down the other androids. Piccolo tries to prevent this, first by trying to defeat Android 17, which he is unable to do before Cell arrives, then by trying to destroy Cell, which he is also unable to do. Way to go, Piccolo. Cell absorbs Android 17 and becomes this. But before he can absorb Android 18, Trunks and Vegeta arrive. They have been training in the hyperbolic time chamber in an attempt to reach a power greater than that of a Super Saiyan. Vegeta, before his training, lost very badly to Android 18, but completely dominates Cell on his own. However, Cell appeals to Vegeta's ego, telling him that if he really wanted to test his skills, he would let him absorb Android 18, and let Cell achieve his perfect form. Vegeta agrees despite Trunks' protests, and Cell absorbs 18 despite Krillin's best efforts, who is by now fallen in love with an inanimate object. Cell proves he's much stronger than Vegeta. However, when Vegeta unleashes his ultimate attack, the Final Flash, Cell is disarmed. Literally. A lot of people don't realize this, but if Vegeta's attack hit dead-on, Cell would have been killed. But Cell realizes the devastating power of Vegeta's attack in time, says, "Oh shit!" and moves out of the way so that only his arm is caught in the blast. Nice try, Ocean Group. However, because Piccolo's cells are a part of Cell, he is able to regenerate his arm. Not even Trunks, who is by far the strongest out of any of them, is able to defeat Cell because the weight of his muscles slow him down. Cell, who is technically part Saiyan, also proves that his head can expand to nearly the size of Vegeta's. Instead of just destroying everybody like he should have, he decides to throw a tournament, and if anyone can defeat him at the tournament, he won't destroy the world. Once again, Toriyama's brilliant foreshadowing shows Gohan starting to take on his father's roles among Earth's defenders. At the Cell games, Kakarot fights first, but quits, saying there's no way he could possibly beat Cell. You heard me. Kakarot quit. In his place, he sends Gohan. Gohan fares about as well as can be expected until, through a series of tragic events, he transforms into the next level of Super Saiyan in the correct way, and beats the circuits at a Cell. But Saiyan Ego comes back into play, this time Gohan's. Gohan toys with Cell long enough for Cell to use his ultimate desperation attack, turning himself into a living bomb. Kakarot uses his instant transmission to transport Cell away. However, enough of Cell survived his own explosion to be able to regenerate himself. Cell kills Trunks and challenges Gohan to a Kamehameha beam clash. Just when Gohan is about to be defeated, Vegeta intercedes and distracts Cell long enough for Gohan to use the third most epic Kamehameha in the entire series, the Father-Son Kamehameha. Using the Dragon Balls, all the damage done by Cell and the androids is repaired, except for Kakarot, who decides to stay dead, saying that he's the one who always draws characters like Cell and Frieza to Earth. Yeah, Kakarot, you kind of are. Now, to be perfectly honest, that's the end of the series as far as I'm concerned. The end of the entire canon universe, in fact. I refuse to waste my time or your time on the 3 seasons of crap that is Majin Buu. Well, yeah, I did tell you that, but sometimes only a curse word will do. They ruin Trunks, they ruin Super Saiyan, they ruin the tone of the series, and they do their very best to screw up everything that they possibly can. I say they because I'm not referring to Toriyama. I'll explain what I mean in my next video. All that leaves me with is GT. Everything you've heard about Dragon Ball GT is true. For those of you who know Yu-Gi-Oh!, it is the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX of Dragon Ball. For those of you who know Gundam, it's the Gundam Seed of Dragon Ball. For those of you who know Tenchi Muyo, it's the Tenchi and Tokyo of Dragon Ball. Get the picture? Now, with all that being said, I do have one provision to make. The first half of Season 1 of GT is some of Toriyama's best work. However, he cut it from the series. I'll explain why in my next video. The first half of Dragon Ball GT Season 1 is a wonderful renaissance combining the fun and adventure of Dragon Ball with the action and power of Dragon Ball Z. But I digress. GT as a whole sucks Dragon Balls. Finally. 4 down, 1 to go. You know, I really hate you